Did you know that just recently, one of the largest lottery companies, Powerball, won a $1.7 billion jackpot for the first time in 30 years? This fact means that wealth these days is no longer measured in millions but in billions. Money loses more and more of its value every year, which means that your chances of getting rich without much effort increase several times. Now just imagine that you can do this year. In order to get the desired $1 million in your bank account, you will need only 3 days to adhere to the golden rule of Bodo Schaefer. This is the rule we will talk about today. So take a notepad and pen and watch this video to the end. Friends, before we start, please like and subscribe to the channel. Bodo Schaefer is one of the best financial consultants in Europe, as well as a great writer and businessman. He is a real practitioner in the field of time management and financial management, proving it by his own example. He has an extraordinary thinking, different from other experts, for which he has gained wide popularity and respect in the financial sphere. For his significant contribution to financial literacy, he was even dubbed the financial Mozart. Already at the age of 30, Bodo Schaefer could live only on the interest from his capital, while doing nothing. Everyone dreams of such a level of life and financial stability. Perhaps someone else would have stopped there and reaped the fruits of his labor until old age, but it is not about Bodo Schaefer. He is still developing in the financial industry and is happy to share his knowledge. His books and recordings of seminars are popular not only in Europe, but all over the world. His seminars are held in many countries with great success. However, it should be noted that few people know that Bodo did not get on the path to world fame and money by his own will, and that all this might not have happened. He was forced to do it by the debt collectors. Yes, you heard him. It was the huge debt pit that awakened Schaefer's love of financial literacy. My experience has made me realize that people are not born with the ability to handle money correctly. We nurture this skill over the years, feeding it with a series of bad decisions, after which we have to count every penny and think 2 steps ahead, says Bodo Schaefer in one of his interviews. He got out of debt with the help of financial advisors and a strong desire to get out of debt once and for all. He had to go around several dozen trainings over several years to collect the best tips and try them out on his own experience. According to Bodo Schaefer, most of the techniques did not work at all. Only a small part of the advice gave results. After many years of work, trial and error, Bodo Schaefer set himself the goal of deriving a universal rule that would help people in need of money. He was firmly convinced that any person, regardless of status and financial position, deserves to have wealth and the amount of money he needs. I built the path to wealth on my own, and too often took a wrong turn. If it wasn't part of my life, I would have given up on the idea long ago and given up. And I think I understand as much as anyone the people who failed and gave up, states Schaefer. Over the years, Bodo managed to create his golden rule of enrichment, thanks to which he wrote his name in history. For more than 10 years, the financial expert has been communicating it to ordinary people through his books and personal speeches. Here are some of Bodo Schaefer's principles and thoughts. The practice of success. Positive and self-confidence are 2 important elements of future financial independence and success, says Bodo. The expert recommends remembering just one practice that will radically change life by 180 degrees. You should start by buying a notebook. This will be your success log. Schaefer recommends strictly writing down 5 things in it every evening that you have done well, that you are proud of. If you can't get exactly 5 points, then just write what you remember today, what you are happy with yourself. This exercise will give you confidence in yourself and in your abilities, and also help you analyze how effective you are at this stage of your life. Perhaps it is this Bodo Schaefer ritual that will push you to make changes in your life. The more you mean, the more expensive you are. You can get to financial independence faster if you become more valuable in the labor market. The labor market is a relationship where you sell your skills and knowledge to your superiors for a certain salary. The amount of your salary depends on how much you differ in your skills and value from other specialists in your field. We all know that the best investment is an investment in yourself, in your personal and professional development. but many neglect this in search of easier and faster ways. Many people have learned about the topic of investments, immediately run to the stock exchange to buy shares or invest in some business projects. Remember that all rich investors first invest money in themselves, in their development, says Schaefer. Try to develop more skills that will distinguish you from others in the labor market, making you more valuable. The goal is to become an indispensable specialist in the labor market, which every company wants to get and will be willing to pay high wages. In the age of the internet, it has become very accessible. Now you can increase your value or even master a new profession from anywhere in the world by taking a huge number of courses and trainings. Dream earnings. To learn how to properly control the flow of money and invest it in yourself, you must first earn it. For most people, dream income becomes a stumbling block on the way to financial freedom. But Schaefer is sure that this problem is psychological, which means that earnings may not depend on skills if you have iron ambition. We limit ourselves and put our own barriers that we cannot achieve something. The poor try to avoid problems and the rich look for problems so that they can use them to achieve their goals. Wishing for more money is not a clear statement. You need to say clearly how much you want to earn, for example in a year, 3 years, 5 years, and so on. At the same time, set big goals. If there is no ambition, there is no success. You must decide to never give up, Bodo states. 2 financial paradoxes. The first paradox sounds like this. Financial freedom is impossible without financial constraints, according to Schaefer. It sounds contradictory, but the truth lies in this logic. Bodo Schaefer is one of the few financial experts who first of all recommends not to save money, but to learn how to manage your spending. According to his expert opinion, the essence of saving money is not to reluctantly put money away in a piggy bank, because it is much easier morally will first learn to more carefully monitor where the money goes, and eventually gradually abandon all impulsive or harmful purchases. Once you learn to do this, you will have the first money saved, which you can already start saving a little. The second paradox Schaefer calls the fact that people do not see the difference between financial freedom and financial dependence. These two terms should be strictly separated. The desire to live a good and hassle-free life here and now is a destructive habit. It is the one that leads you to debts, loans, and is a result of financial dependence and a vicious circle. If you want freedom, you should think about the future. Remember, today you can only create a solid foundation for a rich tomorrow, says Schaefer. 72 hours to get rich. The golden and favorite rule of Bodo Schaefer is the principle of 72 hours, which Bodo has been following for many years and pays the most attention to in his books and lectures. This principle sounds like this. Any idea or goal start to realize in the first 72 hours after its appearance. Otherwise, you run the risk of never realizing them. In the worst-case scenario, someone else may realize the idea. And we're not talking about the fact that in the specified period of time the goal must necessarily be achieved. You just have to make the first step, the first effort. It depends on whether you will succeed or not. Later the desire may remain, but you will hardly want to do anything. You may ask why Bodo Schaefer singles out this rule among many others. The answer is very simple. The beginning of the road to wealth is a difficult stage in the life of every future millionaire. The first step is the most difficult, but it is also the easiest. Big money can fall like snow on your head tomorrow and in a week and possibly in a year. The result is guaranteed, but only if you moved from the place and made the first step on the way to these earnings. Now, after watching this video, you have 2 options. The first is to spend 72 hours to be closer to financial freedom and the desired wealth by taking the first step. Or to let today's advice from Bodo Schaefer pass you by, putting off achievement your monetary goals in a long box. The choice is yours.